Hello and welcome to Ninqueso Live episode 23. We got no viewers at the moment. That's because Barla and Debbie Jane are on my island in Animal Crossing. Get off my island and come and watch the podcast.
Yes, Debbie Jane, come on.
I am El Gran Queso and I am joined by the non-Animal Crossing owning island owner of nothingness, Miss Bree.
Hi, bestie. How are you today?
I am good, thank you. I am good. And a big shout out here to Hello Gemma, Hello CC Sports, and Deba Jane is here. That's how the voice of the when she sends stuff says it. Deba Jane.
Hello, team. Welcome back. Nice to see you all on board. Thank you for joining us this evening.
They're not on my island. They got kicked off. Awesome. I will save that then while we talk about the intros. Communication error has occurred. Awesome. Right, so they've been kicked off.
Have you been playing a lot of Animal Crossing with the team?
They've been to my island a couple of times now. Yeah, so I've played it more than I have done in a while. Let me just turn my Switch off. But, you know.
Are you a good host? That's what I need to know. Are you a good host to your team when they're visiting you on your island? And is Renee still there?
Renee's actually on my other island. This is my second island.
Because, You said that to me last week.
Two islands. I remember that. It's also confusing, 2 islands. But yeah, that's my second one. They've not been to my first island yet. That's still my sanctuary. Where
that's
I can
where you
hide.
Go for your alone time, isn't it, Betsy?
It is. It's where I go to my alone time to enjoy the ocean views and the wrestling arena that I built on my island.
So what have you been playing this week?
This week, I was playing Horace, which it's just growing and growing on me. That game, it is really, really good. I highly recommend it. Even at its full price of £10, it's worth it. It's worth it. I got it for £1.09.
That's a pretty good deal, bestie, to be fair.
It's like the people have looked into my brain and found everything that I'm familiar with and put it in this game. Like, there's one section, we go into this one bit of the building and all of a sudden it starts playing, do you know the music from Manic Miner?
Oh, yes.
It plays in that. Then all of a sudden, like, there's these, like, Pinkin Shears walking about and he's just like, I do not know why all these inanimate objects are starting to move. And then it's only clicked on me. Manic Miner. That's why the music's playing. It's just like Manic Miner. And then get this though, we break into a prison at one point to break someone out of prison, and we have to go to cell block H.
Do the nice ladies and gentlemen know about your prisoner cell block H?
What my secret?
You probably should tell them.
Yeah, I secretly watch prisoner cell block H, and I'm currently on my 3rd watch through on YouTube. Of all 600 odd episodes.
That is indeed extremely tragic.
Yeah, it's just like, it's funny. I think Debbie said it the best. I thought this was just like an innocent robot game because, yeah, it's not. It really isn't. They've had said a couple of swear words in the game. Oh. There's been a couple of drug references in the game. So I think next week when I stream it, I'm going to have to take off the family friendly tag.
Yeah, you might have to do that.
Yes.
You really might have to do that.
I wondered why you laughed when you saw it. Apparently Gemma knows Prisoner Cell Block H. I will tell you now, I've got Twitch sounds turned down for the podcast because obviously this goes on to like Apple and Spotify, and I don't really want the bonking time noise coming up. So that's why you didn't hear it when you sent me the bits. But I really thank you for the bits there, Debbie. For you, what have you been playing?
Do you know what? I've not been able to get on the Xbox at all this week.
That's rubbish. You're not a gamer. Get off my podcast.
Well, I've had a bit of had a few problems at home. My car is broken down, and
I've noticed this by the lack of donuts.
Yeah, and also being in lockdown has severely cramped my style because it means that I'm having to do quite a bit of childcare bubble duties. So I've been chasing round, and I mean chasing round, of a 2.5-year-old and a 10-month-old. And I've got to tell you, it's very hard to do the Xbox while they're jumping on top of you. So that's me. Childcare bubble, lack of car, and grappling with lockdown. I've not managed to get on it.
Not managed to get on the
Xbox. I've actually bought like a planner, not a diary, because I think that's a little bit optimistic for 2021, to be fair. Right?
Are you going to schedule in? Are you going to schedule in some gameplay?
I have. I've decided to speak to the boyf and schedule in at least 2 game nights, and what I mean is all night.
You see, I actually think I need a planner because I've got so many games now. It's like I need to start making notes of when I want to play them, and like when am I doing this game? When am I doing this? Debbie Jane
Listen,
feels your pain.
I'll give you a few sheets off of my planner, and you can do that.
I need to plan ahead what games. It's like the Monster Hunter demo has just come out on the Switch, and I've got until the 31st of this month to actually play it. Otherwise, it disappears. So I need to schedule that in. I think that'll be next Wednesday. I might play that. Oh,
Okay, I will make sure you get it.
Hassle.
So it's a little archive thing, and it's got like a box for each day, and it's got like a list of your priorities and your goals. So for you, it would be like which game is my priority and how many hours is my goal this week.
Well, I know what somebody else does. They actually like have spreadsheets of the games they want to play and how long it's roughly going to take to beat them. And it's like, do you know what?
Wow,
That's
cool.
That's prepared. Too prepared for me, but that is a good idea.
Wow, you have a 3-year-old. My goodness, you totally have your hands full, my lovely.
Yes, I have heard. I've heard the 3-year-old.
Is this a boy or a girl 3-year-old? Please let us know.
Boy.
And if you've introduced them to gaming or not.
Yeah, he watches me play Fall Guys.
Oh, really?
Lachlan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lachlan, his name is. Or LJ.
Lachlan. Well, hello, Lachlan. I know you're probably in bed, but shout out to Lachlan.
We've heard him scream playing Fortnite.
Probably.
Oh,
do you know what? We should probably actually do some news.
No, because I've got one more bit of like Ninqueso news. And this is mainly thanks to CC Sports, who is in the chat at the moment. Do you know we played Fortnite last Friday?
Yeah.
We got to a 4-win streak of like 4 games in a row we won.
Wow.
I mean, again, it was all CC Sports, really. But thank you.
So the 3-year-old is a nightmare. I think that's kind of common to most 3-year-olds, to be fair, lovely.
But yeah, so we did a 4-win streak on Fortnite, and that was with Barlett, who had never even played the game before. She'd never even played a 3D game before.
I was watching there, and she was good. I have to say that, although she did have a tendency to get a little bit lost. But I mean, to be fair, first time that was pretty impressive.
We looked after her. It's all good. Right, should we get on to the news then? That quick news.
Yeah, let's do some quick news.
The kind of news that we don't really want to talk about, but we feel we should mention. Okay. Obviously, it's 2021 now, so all of the things about what happened in 2020 are starting to come out, like the what sold what. So a lot of these are, this sold this much in 2020. Okay, 2/3 of UK game sales were digital in 2020. See, that worries me. That worries me.
I know you don't like the whole digital malarkey.
We all know about the digital. We don't need to get on it again.
You're living in the 80s, dude.
There were over 2 billion tweets about gaming in 2020. And most of that was about Animal Crossing. I'm not sure if that last bit is true.
With me.
I'm not sure if that last. Okay, UK charts. Animal Crossing's top again as Switch software jumps 123% compared to the same week last year.
Wow.
The Switch is just actually on fire, isn't it? I mean,
really.
This next one says it all. Last year, the Nintendo Switch outsold every other console combined in the UK.
Oh my god.
It's just
that is insane.
And Among Us was 2020's most downloaded mobile game.
I downloaded that.
You did. We will play it one day. Twitch has suspended Donald Trump's account to stop it being used to incite further violence.
I'm just not even sure what to say about that, to be honest. But I just think it's like he's been suspended, everybody, because he's basically been put on the naughty step. That's what it is.
I'm surprised he's got a Twitch account, to be fair.
I'm stunned, frankly. It's probably Jared's.
Game Pass news. We're getting Pro Evolution Soccer 2021, Injustice 2 and Torchlight 3 coming to Xbox Game Pass this month. Lucasfilm Games will now be the official identity of all Star Wars video games released from Lucasfilm moving forward. So they're bringing all that into a nice little thing. And this last bit of story is going to be a bit more story because it has already dropped and I have watched it. A new trailer for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury has aired today. And can I just say, it looks amazing. Pretty much all they've shown about it is the Bowser's Fury section. And it just looks so good. It looks so good.
It's like Bowser's Fury.
It's like there's like normal cats in the game as well. And there's so many cats. Even the seagulls have got cat's ears on.
Did you say the word cat there?
There's lots of cats. Lots of
Well,
cats.
that's something we're very fond of around the Ninqueso
It
corner.
is. There is. And just big hello to David popping along there. We are both good, thank you. We are both good. And I think that's the quick news. The kind of news that we don't really want to talk about, but we thought we should mention.
Shall we do some main
Yes,
news?
we will do the
Bestie?
main news. And this first bit of main news is a monumental moment in Ninqueso live history. Why is this a monumental moment?
I knew you were going to do this.
Because this is the first story that Miss Bree has brought to the table.
That's not strictly true. I do bring stories. I just don't text them to you the previous week.
Exactly. That's how comes I accidentally phoned you at like 3 a.m. yesterday because I was like getting the website before you sent me the story and accidentally pressed.
It was 2:25 a.m. Bestie. I was seriously dreading it. Anyway, so I will tell the nice ladies and gentlemen about this piece of news.
Floor
and
is
this
yours.
is to do with Cyberpunk 27, the disaster that is the whole malarkey that went on with this. So basically, they have lost 79% of their player base on Steam since the launch. So this has been monumentally, well, let's call it a monumental failure. But initially, it did look like it was going to do big business because it had 13 million sales at launch. However, compared to December, where they had a peak of 1 million players, they're now down to a current peak of just around about 200,000. Now, to be fair, The Witcher actually did lose a similar percentage, but in a less time. So for The Witcher, they lost about the same, but it was in a 3-month period, and their peak was only 92,000. So the percentage kind of sort of changes things a bit. But this is off the back of the class action that was brought because of they misrepresented the actual game style. So that's still going on, and I believe you got a bit of an update.
Yeah, I'm just going to touch on the drastic 79% loss. I mean, it's not kind of a at the moment there's no multiplayer or anything in it. And from what I've heard, the main story can be completed in about 16 hours. So it's not surprising that it has dropped some. Obviously, I think it's dropped more because of the state that it was released in. But I don't think it's oh my God, it's lost that many people playing it, because people have just completed it and are probably like, do you know what? Until the patches and everything are fully out and the game's working properly, I'm just going to leave everything else until it's fixed.
Yeah, so, and I mean,
it'll get a resurgence. But the problem is, I mean, my update is Poland's Office of Competition and Consumer Protections has opened an investigation into CG Projekt Red over the dismal state of Cyberpunk 2077. So, yeah, so it's getting serious when government agencies start looking into like the games.
To be fair, dismal state is pretty accurate.
Yeah, essentially what this is breaking down to is obviously CG Projekt Red kind of said, oh, it's running better than we expected it to run on Xbox and PlayStation 4s, where obviously from what I've heard it runs really badly. And they're just basically kind of like, well, you've said one thing about the game and it hasn't met that, so you've kind of lied. So I think they're actually going to be, I mean, this is a day old, the article I've got, but I think what it is, it's like if you're in Poland, you should be able to get a refund, no problem whatsoever. But yeah, so it's under investigations.
You can't refund anyway, but I think what they've done is they've made it mandatory, so I think that's fair enough.
Which is nice to see, really. Good old Poland.
Have you seen what the state is with these patches that they're issuing for?
I know
I didn't see that.
They have released patches already, and I know, like I say, I don't have the game, so I don't really follow what's going on too closely with it. I know there have been improvements coming on. The big patch, I think, is meant to be out in February, which is meant to help tremendously. But then you just sit to yourself, well, why didn't you just release it in February? You know,
Well, this is the discussion that we've had
that's the thing,
over
isn't
these
it? But
releases, which have been, in our opinion, just too soon. Over and
yes,
over again,
I mean,
they've rushed it to market because they're like, oh well, people are in lockdown. That we'll get a bigger buy-in, and it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
yeah, I mean, I can't remember what I think it was. Super Meat Boy Forever that got delayed for ages, and I know like when they actually finally announced it, they kind of added in their tweet because all the cyberpunk stuff was going on. It was like, see, this is why we didn't say when it was coming out.
That's really fair. That
Because it gives you like enough time. It's like Nintendo. They very rarely announce stuff now. I mean, they have done with things like Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4. But like Paper Mario literally got Origami King got an announcement like 2 months before it was out. So they're very like, we don't want to go too far into the future just in case delays and that happen. But from what I know, like The Witcher 3 had a lot of problems when that first came out and obviously got fixed over the time. So CG Projekt Red has kind of got history for this. So don't pre-order games, people. That's the moral of this story.
Probably not from
CG Projekt Red or Bethesda
Anyway, so
or
the
EA.
next story we've got is about threats, death threats in the industry.
This is an odd one.
I'm taking this with a huge bucket full of salt.
This is an
I'm
odd
not a
one.
grain of salt, not a pinch of salt. It's a huge bucket full of salt because I believe strongly that they've probably had a cease and desist and they're dressing it up this way.
There is another theory going around, which I will... one of the news programs that I watched has kind of like touched upon it from stuff that's going on Reddit. Obviously I couldn't find all that stuff, but I've got the knowledge up here, so I will add that. So we had a company that was going to release 300 limited edition PlayStation 5s in a PlayStation 2 style. Is there a picture on it on here?
It was matte black as well.
It was matte black, so it looked like it was the PlayStation 2 colours, and the same with the controller. Pre-orders went live, and a couple of days later, they had to cancel it all, and they're saying, "Oh, we've got death threats," saying that we take our where's the statement? We intended this to be a fun way to celebrate shared nostalgia. As it turns out, there are people out there who are willing to interfere with that. If we determine that it's safe to try again, we will. For now, please stay safe, is the statement they said. There's another bit here. This bit comes before that bit. We take these threats seriously, and as a result, we are not proceeding forward. All orders are being cancelled with full refunds. The company said some customers alleged they have yet to have their money returned to them. So so basically they claimed that they were getting death threats over because obviously 300 is not a large quantity, and they were trying to sell these for $650, which...
So my opinion on this is they were very overpriced to start with, and I have seen reports that people were just not getting the stock. So here we are with a company that is failing to fulfill orders on an overpriced piece of merchandise. 2 days in, after a whole shed load of complaints, all of a sudden they pull everything because magically out in the past 48 hours they've had sufficient number of death threats against their staff to say it's far too risky to do business like this. Instead of calling the police, maybe the FBI, someone who might be able to deal with this, and they just decide to discontinue their whole business model. Now, I personally, no.
Now, obviously you kind of said you think they've got a cease and desist, which is probably why they did this. From the story that I sort of heard yesterday, is when people were checking out here, some of the people had problems getting their credit card information off of the website, and a lot of people are starting to suspect that this might have just been a way to collect a load of credit card information.
Oh, actually a scam then?
Yes, because when you actually sit down and think, how hard is it to get a PlayStation 5 at the moment? Really hard. Where is this company going to get 300 PlayStation 5s from? And yes, you say it's overpriced, but PlayStation 5s are still selling for more than that secondhand on eBay. So,
fair comment.
So obviously people have seen this. Oh my God, I can get one for this amount of money. So yeah, some people are kind of thinking that this is, rather than them actually having death threats or even had the intention of doing this is all just a scam to get credit card information. Which time will tell on that one, really.
How many were they offering?
The 300 plus units, it said.
Just the 300.
Yes.
Okay.
But obviously, if it is a scam, they could have taken any amount of pre-orders, couldn't they?
Yeah, and that's the best way to get people interested, is to say this is a limited edition.
Yeah.
Then they'll.
It's a limited edition. It's more expensive than the actual regular one, but slightly less than what Scalper's already charging. So that's kind of another thing that's got,
Yeah. That's definitely true.
There is no proper evidence yet that this is the case, and it might well be that what they said is 100% true. Obviously, this story will evolve over time, and hopefully we'll find out exactly what's gone on. But like I say, if you have given them your credit card information, then just check your bank statements and things, and use PayPal in the future. For things like this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting a PS5, from a strange company that says we're only making 300, I probably wouldn't be giving them my credit card information. To be honest, if I had one, I don't have enough money to have a credit card. To be fair, so probably.
What's one of those? Right.
Yeah.
Nintendo has issued a mass DMCA takedown of over 379 fan-made games. The thing with this is, it's like, I do not understand why these people don't just make a unique game. Why do you need to use like Nintendo's IPs for the game? Because this is going to happen. It was all from one website.
It's called GameJolt.com.
Yes, and apparently GameJolt were monetizing this, which is
they were. So the way they were making money on this was by the advertisement revenue. But as you say, this was trademark infringement. And what's interesting to me about this is that Nintendo have just had them take it down. They've not asked for compensation, or there's no monetary exchange here. And to be fair, some of these games were hugely popular. Particularly, there's one called Five Nights at Yoshi's, which is just like massive. But the advertising that's on that has clearly made significant revenue, and that's why it's come to attention. But yeah, this interesting. No compensation asked for, just a takedown.
Yeah.
What do you make of that, Bestie?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they have been changed significantly. Maybe it's going to be harder to prove that it's their intellectual properties, unlike a ROM site where it's just, these are definitely our games. What the hell are you doing? If they've changed the characters slightly enough, then maybe it is a bit, just a little bit different enough to make it so that it'd be a bit harder to prosecute. Or maybe they just want, like you said, it's like they're not too bothered about the odd fan game being made, but they're obviously more annoyed about the money being collected.
Yeah, possibly.
So, I mean, it goes without saying though. It's like if you're ripping off a Nintendo game, you got to expect this is going to happen. That's Nintendo for you.
I mean, they are well known for this, aren't they? They absolutely will not take any infringement.
And to be fair, it's totally in their rights to do, because it's their property. They invest money into creating all this. So yeah.
The one comment that I've got on this story really is, people just haven't learned, have they? Over and over again, you have seen how aggressive Nintendo are pursuing their intellectual property rights. So why on earth do you keep doing this?
Because they did something that will happen to them. But that's what I can't understand when people make the games that are ripping off using IPs from other things. Why don't they just make themselves a unique game? Like Five Nights at Yoshi's, all you'd have to do is have like a velociraptor in there or something. Just some cutesy dinosaur. And you'll have exactly the same game. So why would you want to walk that tightrope of, are we going to get a cease and desist? Am I going to get fined massive amounts of money?
Well, I think it's a calculated risk. Is that we've definitely got a fan base appeal if we use this, and perhaps we'll make enough money before we get cease and desist.
I mean, it's going to it's going to put eyes onto your product. But like I say, a lot of these are just fan-made games that aren't trying to get money from anywhere. So
perhaps because they think we're not making money from this, that they'll be exempt.
In that case, just make it unique characters, and upload it to the Nintendo eShop. Lots of garbage gets on there.
Garbage.
Right.
Moving
Moving on.
on.
It was 20 years ago.
It was 20 years ago today.
Sergeant Pepper told his band to play.
That's the one.
But also, Microsoft wanted to get into this like gaming console business.
So Steve Ballmer thought to himself, what's a good idea? I know. I will try and buy Nintendo and actually set up a meeting, which went so well that Nintendo just basically sat and laughed at them. And that's the quote, an hour of laughing. That's how that meeting went.
That would have been awesome. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't just Nintendo. They went to actually quite a few companies like Capcom, Square Enix. But essentially what Microsoft wanted to do is they went to Nintendo and pitched it like, look, your hardware is pretty rotten. This was at the time when the N64 was out, and compared to the PS2, it was very underpowered compared to the PS2. So they kind of went, your hardware's rotten. We'll make the hardware. You make the games. Let's make lots of money. And Nintendo just burst out laughing.
Yeah, so this was the pitch, basically. This was a meeting in 2000, and it was so that Microsoft would make the console for them. And the pitch basically was, your hardware sucks, therefore we'll make it for you, and we'll make a lot of money. And clearly it did not go down well.
Yeah.
So all this information has come from an article, which is the oral history of the creation of the original Xbox. And I haven't got down where it is, but yeah, we'll have to put that up later. It's quite a long article, and it's got a lot of details in it, but this is the one that really, again, made me laugh, because I could just imagine Nintendo sitting there laughing their asses off.
Japanese businessman. Yeah, the direct quote is, Steve made us go meet with Nintendo to see if they would consider being acquired. They just laughed their asses off. Like, imagine an hour of somebody just laughing at you. That was kind of how the meeting went.
Good work, boys. Good work.
I know. It's great, isn't it? The pitch was their hardware stunk, and compared to Sony PlayStation, it did. So the idea was, listen, you're much better at the games portion of it with Mario and all that stuff. Why don't you let us take care of the hardware?
God.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you've got to, if you're trying to break into a new market, it's very expensive to get into creating a console. And obviously the Xbox, the original one, it did okay, but it didn't do massively good numbers. But I mean, Microsoft has that money to be able to keep putting in. So you can't blame them, I guess, for like trying to do something like that. But yeah.
I would just like to say at this point, I also struggle thinking that the year 2000 was 20 years ago. I also struggle thinking that my daughter is over 30. That stuns me.
21 years ago.
Yeah.
I know, right? 2000 is like, I was already old then. Man, I'm ancient now.
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay. Here's another little quick bit of tidbit. It has often been rumoured that the reason being that the Xbox One controllers still use batteries is because they are tied into a deal with Duracell to supply the batteries.
And to be fair, Duracell's UK marketing manager actually repeated this myth himself. He said, and this is a quote, "There's always been this partnership," which turns out not to be true.
Yes, Xbox have kind of said, no, that's not true. I mean, a lot of people find it...
Yes, I have to your age, I do. I do a lot of yoga and I eat really well.
A lot of people think it's weird that the Xbox still takes two AA batteries. As compared to all the other controllers always have the built-in. But the thing is, it's like, in 10 years' time, those controllers with built-in batteries, you're going to have to undo them and change the batteries out for them to work properly. At least with the Xbox ones, you can just take them out and change the batteries. And you can get battery packs for them. And I use rechargeable batteries for my Xbox One controller. So I'll always have two fully charged and two in the controller. And then just swap them over when the batteries go. So I don't see it as an issue that it takes...
I'm getting compliments in the chat now. I'm enjoying it. Thank you very much. I'm a PT and a yoga teacher and a nutritionist.
I'll just sit back. You like indulge yourself.
Yeah, I'm doing. Like my ego is just sucking this up, sucking it up so much. Anyway, but thank you for the comments. to go back to the actual news, what's being said about this? Microsoft have said about this that the actual reason that they originally went with batteries rather than rechargeable packs is to do with customer choice.
Yes.
Now, for me, I am not so keen on this because I am quite the environmentalist on the sly. So I don't agree with this, and it would be really nice if they had the rechargeable packs. Although rechargeable packs do degrade over time, and can often wear out before your console wears out. But yeah, that's apparently the reason. Customer choice.
That's the thing, though. It's like I said, I just use rechargeable AA's in my Xbox controller because who can afford to keep buying batteries for your controller? And you can actually plug it straight into the Xbox, and it gets powered through the USB, so you don't need batteries in there at all.
They do big packs in Poundland.
Yeah, but you might as well just, I'm environmentally friendly because I use rechargeable. Right, there's not much else to say about that. Moving on.
So we have got.
Okay, before we go to this one, okay. Bowser's Fury. I'm going to put this picture up just so Bartlett can go, oh my God, that's amazing. This is a screenshot from Bowser's Fury. I haven't done that. I need to do this. How cool does that look? It's like
that's so cool.
Catsuit Mario with a load of proper cats around him. So that's one of the pictures. That's why Bowser's Fury looks amazing. Yes, but Japan is the place that gives us so many amazing things. Do you remember the ride-along Pikachu? Do you remember the Metapod sleeping bag? Well, they've topped it. They've topped it all with the Gengar. Have you ever been in the office and you're like, do you know what? I need a quick power nap at my desk. So if you've ever been in that situation, I'm at my desk, I need a quick power nap. What you need, ladies and gentlemen, is the Gengar sleeping station. It has a tongue that rolls out that is all soft and padded. It has a dark mouth for you to put your head in.
That's just a little bit wrong, Bessie.
And you can have like a power nap at work. Or you could lie down on it like this with your head inside so that it's all dark.
Speechless, frankly, absolutely speechless. I don't know. When we discussed this earlier in the week, I went, where would you do that? What could you actually sleep kneeling up? I think it's just sort of like a timeout, isn't it? Really, not for actually sleeping. I don't know. We'll have the chat. Is there anybody in the chat who thinks they could sleep in this on their desk?
I think I could.
I agree. It is really, really creepy. You put your head in the mouth. And
just the way his arms are dangling.
You do it for work, do you? I love that.
Right, let me see if I can find some other pictures of it. Because obviously
lying down definitely looks better. Yeah.
Gengar sleeping mat. I like the way it's in my search history. Images.
This is strange. It is, the Japanese. They have a very good work ethic.
This
don't
is
they?
a good one.
They do work.
That's
long,
a good
long,
sleeping
long
position.
hours.
You like wrap yourself up in it, just lie face down on the floor.
Roll yourself up in the tongue. Just weird. It's weirder than weird. Would you like one? Yeah. So for those who actually want one, they're not actually released until June 2021. The first release is already sold out, and they retail at $250, which with the current British exchange rate is about 220 quid.
Yeah.
Which is quite expensive for a nap.
If you look, if you look at the price of the Ride-Along Pikachu and the Metapod sleeping bag, they're all around that kind of price, aren't they? Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean these items that we feature regularly for entertainment purposes are pretty expensive. They're all in that sort of range.
It's only 170 centimeters long as well, so I wouldn't fit on it. You wouldn't fit on it either. 48 centimeters high, so short people can lie down on it. Otherwise, your heels are going to be on the floor.
I am a shade over 5'10", and Bestie is over 6 foot.
I'm not.
So
5'11".
neither of us.
5'11". Stop exaggerating.
Well,
although, if I was wrestling, I'd be 6'1".
Oh, that's probably where I've got that from then. When you've been introduced as he comes to the ring at 6'3".
Gemma, I have to disagree. It is well worth it.
Just feel like I need to roll myself up in the tongue, which sounds very, very weird. But
It's just like your arms are trapped. Can you imagine your boss walking in while you're lying on the floor, like wrapped up in a tongue of a Gengar?
Oh, really? 5'2"? Okay. We're giants because we're wrestlers. So obviously that's what it is. We're huge.
That would just be absolutely crazy. But yeah.
And I just want to say congratulations to Gemma for losing 1.5 stone. Actually, I did see that in the chat earlier on. So well done, hon. That's really good. Good work. Good work.
So that's the news story. So if anyone's got any questions at all in the chat, please let us know. I don't think we've got anything left on any of the videos or on Twitter. I don't even check Twitter anymore to see if anyone's left us any messages. If you do,
I usually get the usual on Twitter.
Use the hashtag.
Approaches from weird dudes.
The hashtag Ninqueso Live. But any questions in the chat, this is the part of the show where we will go over them. If not, we'll go home. And I've made lasagna. I've got lasagna to eat
as well, can't we? I mean, I'm 5'10", you're 5'11". Yeah. I'm a size 12. You're an XL. If there's any other personal information you want to know, you can put that.
I've got a scar on my wrist here, just there, from where fingernail went when I was doing judo.
Do you remember that time you broke your nose and you had to send me a picture?
Well, yeah, I broke it twice, didn't I?
Someone hit you in the back of the head with a metal chair, and you had to text me and say, "I've got this strange feeling running through." No,
that was totally different. That wasn't a bit in the head. I got hit in the head with a chair, and it quite hurt quite a bit. And but it wasn't like that time when I had to book myself into a hotel because I really couldn't drive. That was I landed on my head, which is really bad.
I've done so many welfare checks on you during
really
our time.
No, I broke my nose. The first time I broke my nose was there was a tag team match. I was in the corner. My partner got knocked back into me and he came back flying like this and I just didn't turn my head and his elbow just went straight into my nose, which broke my nose. And then about 2 months later, I was just thinking, oh, my nose feels all right. And we're wrestling the same tag team again. Someone goes to kick me, slips, kicks me straight in the nose and breaks my nose again. Right in the opening of the match. So I had to wrestle.
Remember that time when you had the giant
minutes. Hand? I had to wrestle 15 minutes with a broken nose.
Bad
yes,
times.
I did have a giant hand. I have a scar on my face. Is that from where I headbutted you and you fell out the ring, Gemma?
You don't wish you were tallish.
I'm not.
You can't get trousers. I have endless trouble with getting trousers because I need a 33 inside leg.
Can I just address Fentosaurus here, who we know as Mr. Fentos? He says he's not very tall, unfortunately.
Yeah, whatevs.
Such a fibber. He's a Fibulobodopoulos.
He's a Fentalotodopoulos.
Yes, Gemma did dislocate her shoulder in training, and I had to take her to A&E. She did.
Hang on, this is our gaming podcast. We need to do a separate wrestling podcast with all of the misadventures that we've had during that time.
Debbie's brought up. I'm sure you said yes. Trump has had his Twitch account banned as well as his Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Twitch account has also been banned.
What entertained me most about the whole thing was Pinterest has banned him. What was he going to post?
I'm still waiting for him to create a TikTok account because that would just be hilarious.
I want to see that. I would pay money. I would subscribe to that just to see it. Although, because this is the slow disintegration of a man completely losing his mind. I just want to see more.
Can I tell the story? Fentos, this is how she dislocated her shoulder. She attempted a forward roll.
Yeah.
No lie. It was a forward roll.
It was a bit heavy. That's all we can say. She was a bit heavy on it.
No, I didn't know he had a Twitch either. That's why I sort of said it's kind of surprising that he even had a Twitch account. But apparently, Twitch has banned him, which is fair.
Everybody's banned him, which has just made him more angry, which is hilarious. Because he does more of this when he's angry.
Anyway, I think that's it then. No one's got any other questions in the chat? No? Good.
No more questions. So, Bestie, where can they find you?
So, I'm not inviting Trump to play along? Probably not, no.
He'd cheat and then storm off, smashing up the console as he went. That's what he's like. He's that kind of player. Unless he can win, nobody can play.
Barlett, how can you hate forward rolls? Forward rolls are amazing, like headstands. They're amazing.
I can do headstands
cartwheels as well. Cartwheels are good. I like cartwheels. I haven't done
yeah.
Do you know? I haven't done a cartwheel coming up for a year. Jeez.
That's because we don't have the space.
I know, right?
With the matting.
Right? There's nowhere here I can do a cartwheel. Man, can't wait till it's warm where I go down the park and cartwheel everywhere.
Where can they find you, bestie?
You can find me right here on Twitch at this channel where I stream daily now, like literally daily. You can also find me on Facebook where I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where we play Fall Guys. And this Saturday, if you happen to be awake at like 3 a.m. for some bizarre reason, I'm actually doing a joint stream with some other streamers where we're going to be playing Among Us. So if you are awake then, that's UK time, obviously. So if you're in America, it's like proper time. I'll be playing some Among Us with like other streamers, so that's quite scary. It's my first time I've ever cross stream with people.
You're hitting the big time, bestie. Hitting the big time.
I know. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter as Gamer Girl Miss Brie. That's GMRGRL_MISSBRIE.
Yes, right. Are we going to do this outro thing? God, I haven't even thought of anything.
Do the Batman thing.
Oh, right, I need to look at the stories.
Psych yourself up. You know, it's coming. It's there. You just got to reach inside your brain and bring it out. Channel your inner narrator.
I don't even know. Okay.
Okay, the pressure. Take a deep breath and go.
Will the Pokemon Company ever release a Psyduck that we can hug in the bath? Find out the questions to these answers next week. Same cheesy time, same cheesy channel.
Your stories may vary. Say goodnight, bestie.
Good night, bestie. End screen. Where's the end screen? Oh my God.